I realize my microphone is muted, but that's no problem. I'm getting back up. I should be visible now. So I'm getting things back to the way they were. Alright, thank you for everyone who had patience, still staying with me. I know it wasn't super long, but it is a thing that happens from time to time, more than I'd like. Alright, hopefully that is on screen. There it is, but I have to move interwebs again. Whop. Alright, cool. Alright, so to continue on. Yeah, I feel like the Bard arc here is more Pangoro trying to support others who are in moments of weakness or sort of victims of bullying, and try to help them also beat the shit out of people that hated them. I think that's really neat. Now, after this, we're gonna go back to Barbarian. That's right, the long way to Barbarian. Alright, so we're gonna go... Oh no. Oh no. Oh, great, there's nothing to copy. Cool. Nice. So we'll just... Oh, wait, no. Okay. We're getting back to things. We're gonna paste this. Say paste. Please paste. They're not copied. Did not copy that. Alright, now we're gonna make that. Get rid of all of these. Copy this one. Then we get back to level 7. Alright, so... Alright, I forgot. We're getting enhanceability for our spell. To make other people have the health of a bear, to get that temp HP, or get that strength of a bear. You know, some fun stuff. Fun added stuff. Alright, at level 7 Barbarian, we're going right back to it. Right back to Barbarian. Hopefully things will speed up around here. Alright, at level 7... Level 7 will have... Oh, still just 4 rages. Alright. Hey, All Night, how you doing? How you doing? You came back right after a computer crash. How are you? We're making this bear punk into a real great lad. So right now, just to catch you up to speed, Pancham, Pangoro as a young Pancham, was really inspired by like heels in wrestling, how they won by like using cool trick, like using their wit and strength, and it was like, man, wrestling is so cool. I want to wrestle one day. And you know, they grew up to be an athlete. They went in, they learned how to fight, and they came to the unfortunate truth that wrestling was fake. And they were like, nah, I want to fight people like for real though. And after learning how to fight, proceeded to actually beat the shit out of people in the wrestling ring, which got him kicked out of the Sword Coast WWE, where he started off as a fighter, went to Barbarian, and would work to beat the shit out of people he thought were being mean or like bullies or breaking other people, trying to attempt to ruin other people's dreams. And then briefly he had a bit of a bard arc where he would learn how to use his insults and wit to try and demoralize others, to make people who used to be beat up by the bullies now beat them up. So yeah, really enabling violence. Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah, man. That's living the life. Alright, so at level 7, we'll have Feral Instinct. We'll have advantage on... initiative. So that means we're more likely to go first, which may be pretty good if we're more in the mid part of the party to do any of our setups, or just go really hard with Barbarian time. Additionally, if you are surprised at the beginning of a combat and aren't incapacitated, you can act normally on their first turn. But if you enter a rage before doing, if you are surprised at the beginning of a combat and aren't incapacitated, you can act normally on your first turn, but only if you enter your rage. Okay, so nor surprise condition if you rage. So that means it's usually in surprise rounds. You all roll initiative and the enemies do all their attacks first. But here you get to rage and go like, no, I'm in the surprise round. And also we get Instinctive Pounce, which is an optional ability, where as a bonus action, along with your rage, you can move half your speed when you rage, which for us, again, is up to, I believe, 40 feet right now? Yeah, it's about 40 feet still. Instinctive Pounce. Alright. So now we're going to pace to go to level 8. A Barbarian. At level 8, we get, finally at last, an ability score. Alright, so I'm gonna make a bold decision here. We're gonna boost Charisma. Mostly so we have a bit more chance to demoralize. And also allow... Yeah, mostly so we just have more chance to use Cutting Words, which I feel like is a bit more important for this build. We are sort of stretching out our stats a little bit, but we have really good strength, and our con still really solid. Again, whenever we're raging, we're gonna have half damage unless we're dealing with like people attacking our mines. So con is not as much of a worry anymore. So we're just gonna have ASI plus 2 Charisma. So we're gonna go back to stats. Make that a 15, which is gonna be a plus 2. So now we could use our Cunning Words at least twice, which is pretty nice. Now we go to level 9. Alright, ooh. At level 9, we get... Oh, we finally get plus 3 to rage damage. And we also get brutal critical. So, as a reminder, we went in as a half-orc, which allows us to add an additional dice into any of our crits. So, as rules is written, instead of rolling a 2d8 for 2-handed punches, we are rolling 3d8s. Well, brutal critical, at 9th level you roll an additional weapon dice when determining the extra damage for a critical hit with a melee attack. This increases to 2 dice at 13th level and 17th as well. So this means instead of 3d8 on a crit with our fists, we're doing a 4d8 with our fists, and that is not including if we add our 58 with a with superiority die for any of our maneuvers from fighter. So that's pretty good. We also will probably have another chance to add another dice later on. Oh no. Get that out of here. Get this in here. At level 10 Barbarian. We get... What do we get at level 10? Oh, okay, it's a subclass feature. Spirit Walker. This one's not as powerful, but we essentially get Commune with Nature, which we learned in last stream. Not as powerful as a spell, but essentially it lets us vibe check an area and know what terrain's coming up. So if we ever wanted to know like what bodies of water's around, what kind of things are around the area before we go there, any powerful creatures, any influence from other planes, or any particular buildings are around. It's not really the best for what a Barbarian would want, but it's something. Could be a way for us to sort of have a way to know what we're going into before we start a fight, essentially. Let's see, does anything with our rages get done at level 10? Oh, we get another Primal Knowledge! Let's see if there's anything else we can get at Primal Knowledge. So, Primal Knowledge lets us get another proficiency from a skill that, that's in our Barbarian skill list, and I think we'll go with Perception. And see first. Mostly just because it never hurts. I imagine we have a keen eye. We already have good insight. It makes sense we have a good eye on what's going on around us in a fight. Going into level 11. Alright, what do we get at level 11? At level 11, we get Relentless Rage. Let's get Relentless Rage. So, Relentless Rage, starting at a level, your rage can keep you fighting despite grievous wounds. When you drop to 0 hit points while you're raging, you don't outright die. You don't die outright. If you drop to 0, raging, and don't outright die, which is very hard at 11th level, you can make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw. If you succeed, you drop to 1 hit point instead. Mind you, we already have our 1, so this is our second possible 1 we could have if we haven't burned our 1, our Orcish Resilience. Each time you use this feature, after the first, DC increases by 5. When you finish a short or long rest, the DC resets to 10. So basically, you have 2. Yeah, for us, we have 1 free one with Orcish Resilience. Then afterwards, while we're raging, we have a DC 10, which is very easy for us at this point. Our con modifier is, or con save, so like, what's our proficiency at level 11? Yeah, we have like a +7, so unless we were like a 3, we're gonna stay up, you know? So, Relentless Rage. So yeah, we have a chance to keep on staying up. Alright. Pretty simple, pretty simple. Paste. Going to level 12. Alright, at level 12 we should get another ability score improvement. Let's see. Do we want to feed? Because we see a lot of things here for crits. Do we want to just go Nucking Futz with crits? Or do we want to max out our strength? Because we could max out strength, which would be really cool. Like that, I think would just be really good flavored for us to really get the vibe that we are strongest band around. Let me see, let me think. Let me look at some feats for comparison to see if we just want to go, if we just want to fish for some crazy crits. Because I'm thinking it's either gonna have plus 20 strength to be strongest bear there is, or I'm gonna see what we get for Crusher. Alright, so Crusher would make it a 19, which still be a plus 4. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack that deals bludgeoning damage, you can move 5 feet into an unoccupied space, provided the target has no stars longer than you. Wait. Oh, it moves 5 feet, so that really lets you just have that pushing force. When you score a critical hit, deals bludgeoning damage, tackles against that creature made with advantage till the start of your next turn. So this, I think, is a good way for us to have that sense of just always pushing people around with each hit. So that means if we use a pushing attack, we could push them up to 20 feet, which is pretty wild. It won't get us that 20 strength, but plus 4 is still really good. And it also lets us have that set up for letting other people have that advantage. Though, you can do that a few times a day with... But that's any time we crit. Yeah, let's just go Crusher. Let's just go for it. Let's get that. Let's just make that strength a 9 as a treat. 19 as a treat. Not equal 1. We want plus 1. Plus 1 strength. Push people 5 feet after bludge attacks. Crits let have an advantage. Alright, I want to check, is it... Oh, yeah, it's till the whole end of the turn. Got it. Yeah, that's good. That's real good. Alright, so that I think is a good way to compromise the idea of being really strong, that we can just push people around with our sheer fists, and also open up attacks for other people to come in. And last, oh wait, no, we still got 2 more levels left. So we're reaching the end here. No, not Bard. We're done with Bard. Finishing up the Barbarian route. Level 13, we get more brutal. We get more brutal crit. Oh, probably should put in level 12 that we get. Here, Pangoro, you can move a little bit. Got another rage there. And here at level 13, improved critical 2. So now whenever we get a crit, we can add 2 more d8s, which actually is 3 more d8s, because of us being flavored as half-orc. So that means whenever we roll a crit, we are going to get 5d8 damage minimum. This is presuming, again, we don't have any magical items, that we don't have anything that we aren't using superiority die, which will probably boost it to like twice as much dice. No, probably boost it. Yeah, because it would boost it to 4 dice, because we're using 2 dice. That'll make it a 5d, I think a 9d8, which is pretty crazy. Very powerful crits. Is the basic cinch here. Yep, and then finally at level 14, we're gonna get our capstone ability for Barbarian. So let's see what that is for Beast. What's our final totem? Oh, that's the wrong class. Here's the class. I'm in the right classroom now. So, Tomatic Attunement. I'm just gonna... Wait. No, not romantic. Tomatic. Alright, let's see what we get for Bear. While raging, any creature within 5 feet of you that is hostile to you has disadvantage on attack rolls against other targets other than you. Wait, okay. While raging, any creature within 5 feet of you that's hostile to you has disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than you or creature or another character with this feature. Which, you know, in case you're running a party with 2 level 14 Bear Totem Barbarians, an enemy is immune to this effect if it can't see or hear you, or if it can't be frightened. Alright, so yeah, this is basically guaranteeing people to be scared the shit out of you and prioritize you as a threat, while you have half damage to everything but psychic attacks, which is pretty cool. So when raging... So yeah, that's not a bad thing for us to sort of get that capstone of really being able to show up in people's faces, go in, beat the shit out of others, make them maybe scared of us, talk shit, get out of there. Hit really hard, push people around, and be the bully for other bullies. So why don't we finish this off and sort of go into the whole arc here. What is the journey of Pangoro? So Pangoro over here started off as a little pancham, really excited about the wild world of wrestling, and of all the tricks and might of a heel. He was inspired by this and wanted to also be a part of this world. And in doing so, he became a fighter, learning the ways of just basic combat, learning how to get a good vibe of just fighting another man with just his fists, right? He got really good. He learned the ways to be scary as shit to other opponents, how to push them around, how to make other people prioritize him, and in doing so, in his quest to learn how to be a wrestler and to fight people, he didn't want to believe the cosmic truth that wrestling is a lie, it's fake. He wanted to fight for real, so when he goes into the ring, he just starts beating the shit out of people, especially around being other heels and everything, and like, people think he's just playing really into the role. No, he just wants to fight and win for real, scaring the shit out of everyone else. So as such, he gets pissed off and he goes on the road. He goes on the road to be a barbarian and fight for other people who are being bullied, who feel like they're being denied their dreams, such as the dream that he learned was supposedly fake. He wants to protect that. He can't stand people who are willing to either tell a truth or something that would break someone's heart. So he's going in, going mad, beating the shit out of people who dare get in the way. In doing so, he found more about himself. He found the power and the strength of the bear, making him even more resilient than he already was, hitting even harder than he could before with his rage. Going from then, he found the strength to commit more vandalism and violence, having no doors stand in the way of Pangoro, justice, and maintaining the hearts of the youth. In doing so, as he went around the world, beating the shit out of threats and terrors and those who dare threaten the hearts of young children and innocent people, he learned that, hey, maybe he needs to step back a bit. Maybe Pangoro needs to help out the little guy who's being oppressed. He wanted to help them out and make them stand out. Make them be the ones who also stick up to the person bullying them and give them power, so then they can beat others up together. And doing so learns how to talk shit, to really get into people's heads, make people feel a little weaker in their abilities to fight. He learned in this way how not only to improve others, but also improve himself in skills, getting to learn from other people as he traveled around, from their own strengths and getting the gist of others. Finally, having the ability to bestow the power of encouragement to others, to give them maybe a bit more strength than what they thought they were weak in, as well as cutting down on enemies' weaknesses and hesitations. After that, Pangoro just did what he did best and proceeded to get good at beating the shit out of people. Especially when he got a real good hit in with his crits. And yeah, that's the story of Pangoro. Most terrifying panda around. But with that, I think that's it. I don't really have anything else to say. This is a really fun build. I will say, this is a build that, although you can really control the battlefield with pushing everyone around, rather passively or investing into like your superiority die, it's a very fun build, but it's very, what the term is multi-ability dependent. Because you are investing into 3 classes. 2 of them are pretty similar to each other, but you are going to have to focus a little bit into charisma, which isn't a strong suit. It's only your 3rd best stat. Excuse me. And even then, your spells are more of a every now and then thing. They're not a regular thing. You're not a regular caster, and even then, you're not going to be concentrating on any spells while raging, or be able to cast any while you're raging. So just keep that in mind, especially when you're going crazy, going up with butts. However, good things about this build: you are knucking futs. Your chances to attack are insane. You have up to 4 attacks in a turn. All of them can be with advantage, and you have a lot of abilities that work really well with crits, getting really massive damage and having additional effects to really push people around and give other people better chances to hit. You are very offensive, but in doing, you're offensive, you're a tank, and you are also a way for other people to go in and get opportunities to also stand out. You're probably a really rare build that can be the DPS, be an HP tank, and also provide support to weaken others and give them a chance to also shine. You are a very funky build. If you're playing this not at level 20, be careful what you're actually going to include, because it's a very complicated build, because there's 3 classes involved, which is the most classes I've ever thought of when making a character. So yeah, it's very multi-class dependent, and especially if you want that flavor. So yeah, but it was a lot of fun making. It was also great seeing the first martial build in here. You see, because I had a spellcaster, it only took 2.5 hours instead of 3 hours. But yeah, no, I'm really glad about this build. It's pretty funky, but I'm really happy with it altogether. And with that, I think we're going to go to Boingo, because Boingo looks like it's the person with the least amount of views, and is playing some Yu-Gi-Oh! So let's give him a little bit of a raid with Boingo Raider. Let's put that underscore right. Nope, it's all one word. Alright, so thank you for anyone who came by, whether past, present, or future. I hope you all have a nice day or evening, and until then, I'll wish you a bye-bye. Oh god, I went too fast. Alright, now I can leave. Bye-bye.